dogs for everyone.
Yes!
Kirby's Dreamland. Cute floating death.
Welcome to another episode of The Completionist, and today guys, we're playing an instant classic from my childhood. In honor of that, I'm gonna hold my breath for as long as I can. Don't die. Gerard, are you done? Gerard? Breathe if... Gerard, breathe if you need to. Gerard? Gerard! Hey! No, no, nope, 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 nope.
Kirby's Dreamland, the very first and what would soon become another successful franchise from Nintendo. But Batman! I thought Kirby was pink! Why is he white/gray on the box? Is he a marshmallow? Look at all the murder he's committing! He's the evil marshmallow of death! But he's a good guy! He's the main character! He's delicious and heroic. Don't eat Kirby! I'll do what I want! Kirby's Dreamland was created by HAL Laboratories in 1992. The game was designed to be an easy game for younger kids being introduced to the Game Boy. With that said, there's absolutely not 1 ounce of the story explained when you start the game. So let's get ready to read that instruction manual. King DDD, or as I call him, the Penguin King, is hungry. He decides to take all of the food from the inhabitants of the world known as Dreamland. Enter our hero Kirby, who's also a resident of Dreamland. He decides to fight back and eat anyone or anything that stands in his way. Hold on, do we know if Kirby is a he? Reg, we are not having this gender conversation again. Let's just call him a mallow of the marsh variety. Kirby, the mallow of the marsh variety, must put a stop to the evil reign of King DDD, King of the Penguins. While I do love the simple plot of Kirby, it is a bit unusual for a protagonist/consumer relationship. Most heroes that we can relate to do have some form of body, head, eyes, nose, mouth, etc. that is more like the way we look, kind of. Whereas with Kirby, the mallow of the marsh variety is a floating cloud type thing with a never-ending hunger for food. He may be naked all the time, but at least he's got a sweet pair of kicks. Yes, this game's on the Game Boy, so let's not bash the graphics, alright? No one said anything. Really? Oh, okay, cool, cause this game is pretty good looking for the Game Boy. HAL Laboratories really showed off what cool game design possibilities the Game Boy could facilitate. There's lots of fun environments to traverse and experience within Dreamland. Forests, tropical islands, the sky, space, and well, that's about it. That's kind of the lame thing about Kirby's Dreamland is that the game is somewhat short. But see, as a kid, this all just meant the world to me. The music with level design just screams imagination, and that's all we used to have as a kid, right? Oh man, I feel old. I wonder what'll happen when Kirby gets old. Maybe he'll get a TV show. Kirby Your Enthusiasm. Maybe it's just me, but I think imagination's what made this game so fantastic from when we were kids. It looks like a game that we would have come up with if we were designing the game ourselves. Does any of this make sense?
Well, that's one opinion, but don't take our word for it.
It's safe to say that most games on the Game Boy and NES have incredibly easy game design for the simple reason of, well, there's really only 2 buttons aside from the D-pad, the start and the select buttons. Kirby, the mallow of the marsh variety, has the ability to suck enemies, blocks, and items into his...
We don't know that!
Or her... its mouth. If you press down, you consume said item. If you press the same button you used to pull the item into your mouth, you will then go ahead and shoot the item out as a star. This becomes very useful because you suddenly have a projectile in your mouth. That's right, vomit as a weapon. One of the wonderful things about being our hero is that you can literally fly for as long as you'd like. Press the up button and fly away. Show off them swaggy shoes. As per usual with platformers, we've got power-ups that can do some fantastic things. There's the hot curry that literally involves Kirby, the Mallow of the Marsh variety, vomit hot air onto the enemy. There's the invincibility item, which makes you invincible. Then there's a boss-specific item that allows you to sustain in the air and vomit cloud-like projectiles at an airship.
Lot of vomiting in this here kid's game.
Speaking of enemies, everything in Dreamland seems very friendly, except for the spike balls. The boss of the first level is this tree right here. Honestly, if he wasn't trying to kill you, I don't think he would be a threat. And I'm pretty sure the boss comes back in future Kirby games. Look at that face! I think he's just surprised to see Kirby naked, and by the time you vomit his own fruit at him, he just gets confused, but then he goes back to surprised again by seeing Kirby naked again.
Maybe the tree is just surprised by how awesome his kicks are.
So naturally, we must vomit all the fruit onto his face. As you progress, the boss fights do get a little bit more weird. You've got the tree, followed by these two guys who push blocks around all day, the airship, air blimp looking thing, then the one-eyed evil cloud that... I don't know. I mean, this must be Dreamland's finest helping the King of the Penguins hoard all the food, I guess.
What a lovable band of misfits.
So after you've defeated the 4 levels and their bosses, you arrive at King DDD's lair, in which there are 4 doors. Pick a door to go into, and you'll be transported to a small recap version of the levels you just played. These levels will then take you to the bosses you've already defeated. Defeat all the 4 levels to fight the king. I really dislike boss gauntlet recaps in games unless you progress as a character through power-ups or through skills you've obtained. Luckily, these level recaps and the boss fights are very short, so it's not that big of a deal. You get off with a warning, Dreamland, and our fight with the Penguin King is a go. He's a pretty easy fight as long as you pay attention to his attack pattern. It's pretty straightforward. Just suck in the stars that he produces and vomit it back at him.
Jesus, you and the vomiting in this episode.
Who would have thunk there's kind of a completion bonus in such a short game? After you've watched the credits, you'll see Kirby and DDD fooling around while a code appears. This code is to increase the difficulty on your next playthrough of Kirby's Dreamland. And holy crap, in terms of difficulty, it's a completely different game. You're more susceptible to hits, healing items don't help nearly as much, less items, the boss fights are way harder. It's kind of a pain in the butt. Not impossible, but just a pain in the butt.
Speaking of a pain in the butt, that's what Kirby's gonna have after eating all that junk.
After defeating the game for a second time, you are then given a code that will allow you to go ahead and play back all sound effects and level music in the game. The worst and dumb part about all these codes is that you can type them in prior to having the game beaten once or twice. It kind of ruins the fun and mystery of the ending process. Yay, Internet!
Sometimes, Gerard, the journey is the treasure. City Slickers 2, The Quest for Kirby's Gold.
I think you guys get the gist that Kirby's Dreamland is incredibly easy. I mean, the game was designed for young kids, and veteran players like us will have no problem.
I feel like I might have a difficult time. Luckily, I'm good at eating things in real life.
I recommend just using the code from the get-go to play on the extra difficulty mode, or else you can just steamroll this game in about 20, maybe 30 minutes tops. The completion bonuses are kind of a joke, but I don't think this game was built for that kind of duration. It was a game designed for a younger audience to get acquainted to a new kind of hero that would eventually go on to create several more interesting titles, expanding the character, his abilities, and his world.
Hey Gerard, whatever happened to all that food that the King of the Penguins stole?
It rained down from the sky, Greg. I'm on the fence about Kirby. On one hand, I have a lot of nostalgic memories from my childhood playing the game, really enjoying the game, and really wishing I still had the game on a daily basis of consumption. On the other hand, we have a game that's very, very easy, and for newer gamers, you might not be nearly as entertained as you should be. Playing extra mode definitely does increase the difficulty, prolonging your experience, but other than that, it's a 20-minute game. With that in mind, guys, this game gets my completionist rating of... play it.
Play it!
That's all the time we have for today, guys, so please, as always, leave your positive and negative comments in the boxes below. If you missed last week's episode, give it a click right here, and if you're from the future, give next week's episode a click right here.
Mommy!
If you're into the whole social networking stuff, don't forget to face, twit, tamble, gram witch us. That's right, face, twit, tamble, gram witch.
Which one's the witch?
Twitch.tv, in which we do a lot of streaming. We're always there. Streaming, I'm probably streaming right now as you're seeing this.
So it's
Take a look.
It's a delicious sandwich?
Delicious sandwich.
Nice.
It's a live streaming sandwich. If you're also a fan of beards and Let's Play shows, give my second channel, the Super Beard Brothers, a look. It's trivia, it's beards, it's a good time. Now, if you excuse us, a word from our sponsor. And by sponsor, I mean it's not real.
It's real!
No, it's not.
Do you want to get the swag ringtone? Just text swag to 864-1164-811-641. For the low price of $49.95, just text swag to 864-1164-164-11641. Swag ringtone, get it now!